Welcome to the fastest stop in town. Today we're Masechtas Sotah Daf Chaf Hey. We're going to be on Chaf Hey Amid Aleph, 3 lines from the top. Iboilahu. So the Gemara poses the first of a few questions. If a woman is an overis al das, says Rashi, reminding us of the Gemara in Ksuvos on Daf Ayin Beis. For example, she's not modest the way she goes out. She wears improper attire, her hair is uncovered, or she engages in practices in the marketplace, or she speaks with all different men. So in that situation, the Mishnah over there, it says that she's yotzibul ksuba. Now, sricha hasrol hafsida ksuba so and sricha. Do we actually have to give her a warning saying you should not do this, and only after she continues then she will lose her ksuba, or do we say that she's immediately losing her ksuba even without warning? Since she's being overis al das, maybe hasra is not needed. Maybe it is necessary to be hadraba to hadraba, because if she retracts, she retracts. In other words, maybe we should give her this opportunity to be able to change. Tashma. So our Mishnah said that you have a woman who's engaged, or she's a shemer shavim waiting for yibum to be performed, and she secludes herself with a man. Lo shosas lo notos ksuba, even though she was warned not to do so, she will not drink the Sotah, as it says tachas isha. However, she will also not be receiving her ksuba because she's the one that was gairum. She caused it. So mishta hudu shasya. So as we made this diak, she will not drink Sotah haknui machnilo. However, she will receive this warning, and it also means that she's going to lose her ksuba. So, Lomai, what is this coming to tell us? What purpose is this warning for? If, in fact, she's not going to be drinking anyway, La will have sidik ksubasa, is so that she should lose her ksuba. So, we should learn from here that any time where ksuba is potentially going to be lost, we have to warn her, including in the situation of overis al das. So, Rabbi says, not necessarily. Well, Oisra Olav, the whole purpose of the warning is to answer her to her husband. Maybe it's referring to her drinking while she is married. You can't warn her while she's only engaged to you and for her to then drink at that state. But you actually could warn her while she's in Arusa now, Nesua, when she gets actually married, then it will actually kick in. So the heirs, at B'shas Erison, the kinui works, says Rashi, Elide kinui shel Erison, sheneochel ashkaisa kashiarusa, to be in tachas isha. However, once she's in Nesua, so that actually will be enough for her to drink. So that's the second answer. But again, it's not a raya. Either way, whether or not overis al das needs hasra. Which our Mishnah said these are cases of chavi lavin. So in these situations, because they were not supposed to be married to begin with, so also the Mishnah says she's not going to drink Sotah if she's accused, and she's also still not going to get her ksuba. So again, we're going to try to use this as a proof. So the Gemara says as follows. Alman kohen gadol grush v'chutz kohen hedget, or mamzer says in Yisrael bas Yisrael mamzer on a sin. So in Mishnah said lo shaisa lo ksuba. So Mishnah hudu shasi, again, she doesn't drink Sotah for the various reasons. But he still warns her. So am I. Is it to aser to him ha'asirin v'kaiman? She's already aser because she wasn't supposed to marry him. Elallah will have seen ksubasa. The whole point over here is to be mafsa the ksuba. So this is a very strong raya that it, again, when you'll have ksuba like overis al das, you have to warn her. So maybe Huda midiskarta lo asul boil kabal. It's to say that she's going to be also usher to the boil, just like she'll be usher to the husband. So that's what it's being taught. So therefore, the purpose of the warning is to usher her also to the man. But again, it's in the case of Oiveres al Das, so then maybe you don't need Hasra. So there's certain times where the husband is not capable of giving the warning, so therefore the Beis Din will intervene and warn the woman on his behalf. Oh, for example, if he's a cherish, he's an enu medaber and a shemeya, he can't speak. Oh, nishtata, or let's say the man is a shaita, he's incapable of being able to give a warning. Oh, let's say he's locked up in jail. He's a healthy man, but he's in jail, so he can't warn his wife. Amru el paisel. And the whole purpose of this is not for her to drink, because she would not drink in these cases, but rather will passel her from the ksuba. Shemamina. So what do we see? We see that boy hasra shemamina. It says beferish. The whole purpose is to passel her from her ksuba, so she won't get the ksuba. So therefore, again, we see clearly that whenever you have a situation where the ksuba can potentially be in jeopardy, so that you have to give her asra, which would include Averis al das. So that's a shmamina. Okay, question 10. Iboilhu. Averis al das, svichasra loi, madua, why in lifshain midananaman kan gaduk shulchusul kan hedget? Why didn't we went out from there? So we said maybe the warning over there by an alman of the Kohen Gadol is a hasra in order to answer her to the boil, just like to the Baal. When it says based in Mekan and Lamish and Ischarish and the Shtat Baala, that should be a raya. So on this, again, on that, Gemara says, Dilma Shani Hasam. Okay, we didn't do this part. Okay, so Gemara says, "V'kulhu my time aloyamrim noha." So this is the answer. Why don't we went out from here? Because Dilma Shani Hasam delasely imosad about klal, because she doesn't have any fear of the husband in this case. Says Rashi. What does that mean? She has no fear. V'ilav de asruba. If the Beis Din didn't warn her, lo yahavilan lemiknasa, we wouldn't knas her. We wouldn't maybe take away her ksuba. There's nothing, there's no fear, there's no deterrent, because her husband's a shaita. Ein tema bedavar imo veres al das ein ze pritzusi asera. So it's not necessarily a pritzusi asera. Abomi shabal etzlev. Her husband's with her. Venu yirei mimenu. She's not afraid of him. Veres al das pritzasi asera. And she acts extremely lewd. Ispa the ikulamemer do belav hasra now may miss a ksuba. So maybe in fact she would lose her ksuba. So therefore, even though we said, well, maybe it's a raya that you do have to give hasra, so maybe in this situation you don't have to give hasra, and the only reason why the Beis Din intervenes is because otherwise she's not going to have any fear at all. So again, how do we learn from here? Why is it not for sure that we learn from here that a Beis Din warns a cherish or a shaita, that the husband's a cherish or a shaita? Because Shani Hasam delays a masa. She doesn't have a fear. So because of that, maybe again it's not a raya. Iboihu veres al das. Let's say again she did certain things which show elements of promiscuity. But the husband says, I don't care. I still love her. I still want to be with her. So mekaima o ena mekaima. Is he allowed to still remain married to her? Maybe it's only because the only reason why it's a problem is because the husband is particular about him. If he's not particular, then she should be able to stay with him. Or do we say since he's kapid, he's kapid? In other words, the fact that it obviously did bother him, and the question it should bother him. So because of that, it doesn't matter what he thinks. So Tashma, the elu shebeis the mekadalhen, mishnah scharish balon nishtata or shohechav shebeis asum. So sometimes the Beis Din will step in. Navi Amrid, what's the bal kaima mekaima? If the husband wants to keep her, so Adi Beis Din midi the dimul nichle the bal. How did this Beis Din know what they're doing is the right thing? That their Beis Din is going to warn and then answer her to the husband. Maybe the husband doesn't care. He doesn't want her to become usher. So what right does the Beis Din do? It must be because the husband doesn't have. As soon as she does this, that's it. We're not going to say that the husband it's all totally on the kaped of the husband. No, she's going to be usher. This is how she acts. Versus Stama de milsa kivanda averis al das. It's logical that if she's being averis al das, then what we say is he meinach nichale, that it is something which is good. Says Rashi. So Rashi says, "V'heich anu nasim shluchim loy, v'davar shu chayiv loy." How can you do something, again, which is detrimental for him? She'enu chafetz bo, v'kaimelon da ein chavan lo adam shel b'fanav. So basically, what we're saying is that mastama, once she's averes al das al das, so minach nichale. So it's a good thing what's happening in this situation. So again, it's not necessarily a raya, because we should assume that this is the reaction that a man would have. Let's say, again, the husband warned her, and then eventually he retracts, he changes his mind. He says, you know what, it's fine, I don't mind. So it could be moichel al his kinoi. So this Rashi says, "V'hashta salchadaitach the kaboy ben shemochel koidim stira ben shemochel achar stira." Maybe it doesn't make any difference whether she was already locked up with a guy or not. V'imtim soleimer averes al das shirotzel kaima mekaima, that by averes al das that you can keep her. Hanimili b'loy kinoi. Maybe that's only if she wasn't warned. Avol hecha the ika kinoi stira, when she was warned and she secluded herself. Rotzel limchol. And he wants to be moichel this mao. Mi'akar kinu v'shar le'olam. Does the husband, even though she was warned and she was secluded with another man, maybe that's it. She's going to be usher to him. Even if he retracts, he doesn't have the right to retract. It's all, the whole warning was connected to the husband. So the husband retracts, he retracts. So, or maybe you can say, since he already did this, and therefore once she secludes herself, she's already usher to him, that's it, he can't retract anymore. So Tashma, but Elu Shabbos Mekana Hen Mishin is Charish Balo Nishtata O Shahayachosh Besa Surin. So the base will intervene in these cases. V'amr Bal Shamachol Kinim Kinim Machol, that the husband has a right to retract. So Abdinan Midi the Asibal Machole, where we're going to do something which the husband can just simply be Michael. Adam maskim al das bastin. Typically speaking, if the bastin does this, it's going to be maskim to what the bastin did, and he's not going to have a different opinion. Tashma. So we said that when the husband is bringing his wife to the kohen, we have two Talmid Chachamim accompanying him. Shema Yavel Abaderch, because as we learned already, that if he has tashrish with his wife, that's it. He's not able to have her drink mei Sotah. So we have two witnesses that are there to make sure that no bia took place en route. So if the husband has the right to retract, so why does he just retract and he can have bia with her? So my answer is that I guess that's true, but my shna Talmid Chachamim. So why Talmid Chachamim? The Gemiri, the iboil lemiboil amrilai achle lekinuyech ubala. Maybe that's good for the point that we have the Talmid Chachamim there, that really he has a right to be Michael, and that's the whole reason why these Talmid Chachamim are there, to be able to tell him, by the way, if you're planning on having bia, maybe you should retract before. Tashma diyam Rabbi Yeshaya shlosh devarim sachli zeira me'anshir Yerushalayim. There's three different things that were said to me. First of all, if you have a husband in which he retracts based on his original warning to his wife, it works, and that's it. And they'll still be mutter to each other. If you have a zakin mamre who rebels against the Beis Din, says Rashi, shehimra al Beis Din shalishkas agozis umisas b'chenek. So this is a serious potential death penalty, but the Beis Din could retract and say, okay, fine, we're moichel, don't worry about it. Third, ben sarah mayra shiratzu avim limchel boy moicheloi. So if you have a parent who the child is between 13 and 3 months, and this guy unfortunately has done a lot of terrible things, he's steals, he eats meat in a certain way, and drinks wine a certain way. So he's normally going to get skila. However, the parents have the ability to be moichel, which maybe this is why it never happened before. Gemara in Sanhedrin says Ben Sar and Mara never happened because a parent would have rachmim on his child, just like Hashem is rachmim on Bnei Israel. Shabbos yetzel chaverai shebadarim al shnaim hoydeli v'al zaken mamlo hoydeli. He's chayuk when it comes to zaken mamri. Shlo yirba machlokes b'Yisrael. So we're not going to be moichel. The basin is not going to be allowed to be moichel the zaken mamri because he's someone who's stirring up the pot. Shema mina bal shemachol kinim machol shema mina. We see beferish that the husband has the right to retract. Fine. Pligi b'ravacha b'Rabbi Nechad omer kodim stira machol l'yachas stira ena machol. So one says, when does the husband have the ability to retract? So it's all totally if she was already locked up with the other guy. If she was locked up already with this guy, he can't retract because she became usher to him. If it was before, then it's not a problem because she wasn't usher to her husband yet. So he can retract that. Even afterwards, it's moichel. Even after she already secluded herself, you still have the ability to retract. Mastaber command the mochel. Makes more sense. They're not. The way that they respond to Rabbi Yosi this time, Rabbi Yosi Omer Balaneman Aleha Mikal V'Chaimer. We said that a husband is believed by Kal V'Chaimer. Mani the Shehi B'Kares Balaneman Aleha. When it comes to Kares, which is a din by nida, there's a strong punishment. So in that situation, the husband has a certain element of nemanis that he's still considered to be believed. So Baal neman aleha saitishi balav koshikain. So again, madach by nida, which is a strong punishment of kares. Nonetheless, the husband's believed. So saitin, which is the isser, is only love. Then certainly the husband should be believed. So low. You can't compare the two, because even though it's true that nida is very chomer, it's a din karis, but it's also the davar sheshamatir, and eventually it's going to be mutter. Mashen came over here, but Sotah shall be also forever. That even after she was locked up, he has the right to be moichel. So mishkachas lo diishal heter. So we actually find there is a heter in the event that he's a moichel. So apparently from here we see that a husband who his wife was already secluded, so that's too late, he cannot be moichel. He can only retract before the stira. Let's see question 11. Mehechen havir b'gemar raya the bal shemachal kinoi v'achar stira eno moichel. So the answer is because the way the Rabbanan respond to Rabbi Yosi, the ain diamond need the lasaita. Zu yeshul heter, zu ain lo heter. When it comes to the situation of a saita, there's no heter. You feel achar shimchol asurlo. That even after he's meichel to her, it doesn't make any difference. She's still going to be aser. So therefore, again, we see from here that after stira, it doesn't work. Okay, and then the Mishnah said as follows. So you have a machlokas. Let's say the husband warned her, she secluded herself, and he died. The husband died. So it depends. Let's say she didn't drink it, so you have machlokas whether or not she's noitless ksuba. Everyone holds she doesn't drink, but the question is, will she get the ksuba? So, but why does Beis Shammai say she gets the ksuba? So Beis Shammai sabri shtar ha'emin ligvos k'gavoy. When it comes to a credit claim to a lien, so the din pashut is that you end up ki'ilu like you already got it. Even though you haven't gotten paid yet, it's ki'ilu like you got paid. The fact that you're holding on to this ksuba, it's ki'ilu like that money's already yours. It's like it's already collected. So therefore, the din is that since she's holding on to this, that's it. She's able to collect from it. Says Rashi, umaitzi mechaver lavaraya. Therefore, it's the raya, the burden of proof is on the husband, because the wife should get it. Va'alehen l'havi raya shezinsa b'stira zu v'ibdik ksubasa. He'd have to actually prove all this to be able to have her not get the ksuba. But otherwise, according to Beis Shammai, she still would, because Shtar Hayomin Ligvais Gavi Dami. The credit claim to the lien is like it was already paid off. As we continue to Chaf Hey Amid Beis. Beis Hill Sabri Shtar Hayomin Ligvos Lav Gavi Dami. And therefore, because of that ksuba is not like it's collected. And therefore, if she is not able to drink the Sotah, she's not going to do the ksuba either. Question 12. Kinu ishto v'nistro meis ha'im yeshol ksuba ma'atam. Puti Beis Shammai Hillel ishtaro oimid ligvos k'gavidam milo. Okay, fighter. Then the Mishnah says, Muberes chaveroi. So you have a woman in which she was pregnant. She gave birth, and now she's nursing this child. Now she's supposed to wait 2 years until she gets remarried. Let's say she didn't. She married this guy within 2 years, which is a fear, because that may affect the vibrance of that child. That baby may not get the food that it needs, because now she'll be married to someone else, and maybe she'll get pregnant with this next man. So Rav Nachman Rabbi Moravu machlokes ba'kara zakena. The whole machlokes is if we're dealing with a kara zakena, someone who is not shaykh to have a kid. So that's when we say that it's a machlokes. When it comes to an ionis, she doesn't. Everyone holds you don't get a ksuba. Says Rashi. So let's look at Rashi. Machlokes the Rabbi Lezer Diamar Yochel Isa Cheres. So this is going back on the question: are you able to marry this woman because she can't have a child? But the question is, well, you can just marry a second woman, right? And then she'll be the one that gives you the children. So the whole machlok is whether or not you can still be married to a woman as if she's barren or old. So you can always just end up getting another woman who you can have children with. It says Rashi, Dolek l'memer eno shaisa el taima mishum doli chaz l'kaima. Oleh polig Rabbi Lezer diamar roya l'kaima hi yochalisa isha cheres. So we have this machlokus. Exactly how do you want to look at this? Whether or not we say that maybe she's an akar and a zakena, you cannot marry another woman and they'll produce the children, because these are women that are not fit to be married. To be married to. Abel Island says Rashi Nihi Namid Royal Kaima. Fact is, she is someone you could be married to. Mihu will shasia. She's not going to drink. Mahai Taima Deroyal Heroin being. She has to be someone who's fit to having a child. The Kara al Yedei Maka Uzakena Mina Dabas Haroyin, because of her age. He koyed Machain. Abel Island Mebeten Ima Okay, so again, the whole machlok is whether or not this guy can just take another wife is dafka bakar v'zakena. Ionis, if it's an ionis, divir kol shasav lo notelos ksubasa. She's not going to drink, and she's not going to consume. Someone who can have a child. She's not able to have a child. Says Rashi again, Avol Ionis, the he nami the royal kaima, mihu lo shasi. She doesn't drink mahai taima, the royal heroin binan. Someone who's capable of having a child. The akara ali de maka. Someone who's an akara is by being hit, literally. Uzakena mina de bas heroin he koin machain. Avol Ionis mi batnan. Ima likiwa he v'lo yichazia. Okay, we're gonna stop there. Let's see if there's another question. Question 12. Kina liishto v'nisteres umeis. He'im yesh l'ksubo umahatam. So it's a machlokes Beis Shammai Beis Hill. If a shtar oimid ligvos is kagavli dami. Ta 5. Shemeres yavam ha'im naseres bekino yustira va'im shaisa. So what is the din? Which is kind of the Mishnah. So the din is by shemeres yavam naseres ukol yalma. She's certainly going to be aser. V'shaisa pligi tanoi. However, whether she's going to drink is a machlokas tanoi. That's Ta 5. So it's actually is probably goes all the way back to Chavdal Mad Aleph. Mishtahu D'Lishaseha Kinui Mekanala, that she's going to be Aser. Okay, so question 7. Madula Shmuel Adifa Daima al Bas Daima al Bas Daima Madula. Fine, we didn't do that. TB Fine. Kivan di arusa lo shasa. So if arusa doesn't drink, so then kinuye ba'arusa lo mai ahanya. What is the whole purpose of warning her? So there's a few answers to this question. First of all, if you want iboy hasra lafsidik ksubasa, one possibility is for her to lose her ksuba, or to asa her on her husband, o lashkaisa im tister kishin nesua, or for her to drink while she is at the time of nesuin. So this is Chaf Hey Amud Aleph, TB 5. Let's see. So Mishnah. So he said, "My love will have subasa." Right. So he said, "No. Maybe it's lahashkaisa kashina sua." Okay. That was Chaf Hey Amud Aleph. Question. Kivan de Rusal Shasas Kinui by Rusal my. So that's Chaf Hey Amud Aleph. Fine. Question 6. Baal shemoichal kinuyev im kinuyev moichal. So is he able to be moichal or not? Question 6. Kaidim stira moichal. Achar stira einu moichal. So this is what we saw over here on the bottom, which is now TB6. TB6. If the husband is moichal, is he able to be moichal? So it's only before stira. But lachar stira, no. Okay? After stira, not. Shema mino, lachar stira, einu mochel, shema mino. Okay. TB7? Is it possible? Himish kinui makatan adkan.